This is the famous Strata Carbon Clad, the first clad carbon steel pan to hit the market. It combines the best of stainless steel, aluminium and carbon steel, and it claims it's light, heats fast and cooks more evenly than traditional carbon steel. In this video, we'll find out if that's actually correct. Let's jump in. Hey, I'm Papa Mao. I'm here to encourage and help people transition away from non-stick cookware as a way to care for their loved ones and for the environment. In this channel, I show how easy it is to cook with carbon steel and cast iron cookware. I share my experience as an everyday dad cook and as a weekend outdoor warrior. Welcome! Quick disclaimer before we start. I reached out to Strata after I reviewed the Carbon Nonstick from Missen because I thought it would be a good comparison. They offered to send me a pan for free, which is this one. Other than that, I have no relationship at all with Strata. No affiliate links, nothing. They won't even see the video before you, okay? So just to get things straight before somebody puts this video on Reddit and claims that I have ghost deals with Darto and other brands. That's not the case. I'm really a very, very small YouTube channel and I have no affiliate links with any other brand other than mine, which is very little, as you may or may not know. So let's get straight into business. Okay, first impressions. Really surprised at how this pan looks. If nobody tells me this is a carbon steel pan, I would assume it's a stainless steel pan. The color is very similar from the inside to the outside. I know that the outside is stainless steel and I know the inside, the cooking surface, is carbon steel. It's raw carbon steel and it looks really nice. The handle is very comfortable and it feels light. It's a light but solid pan. It feels really good in your hand. The other small detail that I really like, that the borders, the sides appear to be sealed. You cannot see the sandwiched 3-ply materials in there. It looks really tidy and honestly, you wouldn't think it's a clad pan just by looking at it. That's a really nice detail. I'm not sure if I cannot see it because the 3 layers have the same color or it's because it's sealed. Look, I'm getting a bit old. I may not be able to see this properly. I can identify the first layer, the stainless steel, and then it looks like one solid layer. Let me know in the comments if you know the answer to this. If you've seen other videos in my channel, you know I have a maintenance-free approach towards carbon steel cookware in general. So I don't seize on my pans at all. So the first test is gonna be if we can cook an egg just with bare metal. Okay, that's hot enough for me. And this is how I cook at home. So if you prefer to use less oil, happy days. If you like more oil, enjoy. And that's it. That's it. This is how I like them and they work fine. The Strata clocked 1 kilo and 50 grams on my scale. I'll be comparing it against the Missen, which comes at 1 kilo and 100 grams, and an unbranded 2mm nitrided carbon steel pan that clocked 1 kilo and 150 grams. So they're all within 10% difference in weight. Pretty close. First, I wanted to see how fast these pans heat up. I measured the time it took to go from room temperature, that was around 21 degrees Celsius, all the way up to 100 Celsius, which is the boiling temperature of water, using the same burner on its low-end setting. The Strata took about 120 seconds to heat 100 degrees Celsius. The Missen was noticeably faster, taking around 90 seconds. And the traditional carbon steel pan took around 110 seconds. But I don't think these numbers mean much with an empty pan, so I repeated the test with half a liter of water just to better simulate real cooking conditions. This time, the Strata took roughly 5 minutes to reach 95 degrees Celsius at the center, and then stabilized. It didn't go further. The Missen took 4.5 minutes but only reached 93 degrees Celsius. And the traditional carbon steel pan actually performed the best. just 3.5 minutes to reach 97 degrees Celsius, and it held steady there. I did the test again with the unbranded pan just to be sure, and I clocked around 4 minutes to reach the 95 degrees Celsius, so still the fastest. Also, the ambient temperature was cooler in the morning. So in this simple home test, I would just say that clad pans don't appear to heat faster than traditional carbon steel for a similar pan weight. The thickness of these pans may be what is explaining what we observe in these tests. The Strata is 3 millimeters thick compared to 2 millimeters for the other two, so the extra thickness could be offsetting responsiveness. The bigger picture for me is that for similar weight and thickness pans, there's no dramatic difference between a clad carbon steel pan and a traditional one, at least not enough to completely transform your cooking experience. Then I wanted to check heat retention, basically how well each pan stores energy and stays hot when you add the food. I heated the pans to 200 degrees Celsius, turned off the heat and dropped an ice cube straight from the fridge. Again, it's not a lab test, just a simple home experiment to get the big picture. Surprisingly, the Strata seemed to hold heat better than the other two. It evaporated the ice cube completely in about 1 minute, while the Missen and the traditional carbon steel both left a bit of water pooling on the surface. Not a massive difference, but still. For the final test, I used Halloumi cheese. This cheese comes from Cyprus and has become a classic staple in Aussie breakfast. But Halloumi cheese can be cheeky. It goes from pale to overcooked in a split second if you're not paying close attention. It's super sensitive to heat, which makes it perfect for spotting hotspots. So at first the Strata showed a couple of hot zones, but that was likely due to my cooktop rather than the pan itself. I usually rotate my pans about 90 degrees halfway through cooking, and as you can see, that completely solved the issue. The Misen Carbon Nonstick behaved in very similarly, and the unbranded carbon steel pan was a little bit more patchy in the surface temperature, but overall the results were great across all three. So from this simple real-world test, my humble opinion is this: even if clad pans heat a little faster and cook a little bit more evenly, the difference is not material. This session was a lot of fun. We all get to consume a lot of marketing claims, but rarely have the opportunity to compare pans side by side. Strata is a light pan, and in my opinion, it should be compared against similar pans. It doesn't make much sense to compare this pan against another pan that is double its weight. They both serve totally different purposes. There is a reason why people love heavy pans, and it's called heat retention. I'm one of them. But there is also a lot of reasons for people to choose a light pan. They cook totally differently. If you have issues holding a heavy pan, well, this is a great option. You may be an elderly person or having some health problems in your hands. It's perfect, this will do the job. If you're curious about the concept of heat retention, which separates light pans from heavy pans, I link you a couple of videos that I made about the topic in the description. Light pans are like the city cars of cookware. They are great to move around town with a couple of passengers, but they may not be the best option if you want to go on adventure off-road or take the whole family on vacations. Now, comparing apples with apples, Strata is a great pan. I love its design. It's very comfortable and feels super balanced and maneuverable. In terms of performance, we demonstrated once again that seasoning is overrated. We managed to start cooking with it straight without any seasoning, and it's been performing great. So if you are doing 25 layers of seasoning in a Strata, you're making this pan look a lot more complicated than what it really has to be. And you may be scaring away people from one of the best cookware materials around, carbon steel. Let's make it simple. Now, when it comes to heating speed, the Strata didn't heat as fast as I was expecting. It was very close to the traditional normal 2mm carbon steel pan that I have here, and it was slower than the Missen. Why is that? The Missen is 2mm thick in the wall and the Strata is 3mm thick. I think they prioritized even cooking over responsiveness. So by design, they decided to go with a thicker middle layer of aluminium. Now, is this a big deal? I don't think so. All 3 pans heat up very quickly. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. That's a huge help for a little channel that's this one, and it's gonna enable us to be in touch. And also, please feel free to jump in the comments and ask any question. I'm trying to respond as many comments or questions as I possibly can. Now, when it comes to even cooking, this was very interesting. Halloumi cheese is a very sensitive food to cook, and we managed to get really good results across the board. I think the Strata may be more even than the carbon steel pan, very similar to the Missen. Now again, does that mean that you cannot cook a perfectly done pancake in this pan? I personally don't think so. If you are a decent cook, you will be fine. So overall, I'm really happy with the Strata. I think it's a great pan. It's a super good option for someone looking for a lighter pan. Now, will this new clad technology replace and make traditional carbon steel redundant? Personally, I don't think so. Is there a place for this? For sure there is, and there will still be a place for traditional carbon steel and traditional cast iron. They offer something different. It's a different value proposition. Some people will connect with this pan, will love the design, will love the feeling, and it's gonna be their perfect pan. Some other people will always prefer heavier pans, different designs, different materials. So that's the beautiful thing. There's so many options that you can find the perfect pan for your particular needs. Now, about the Misen Carbon Nonstick. I have made like 3 videos about this pan already, so if you haven't seen them, have a look to the links below. Just for context, this pan comes from factory with a substance that makes the non-stick from out of the box. That substance gets deteriorated very quickly over high heat, and it becomes sticky. I removed all that layer of oil. We don't know what it is, right? So I've been using this pan completely stripped, and it's behaving like a normal carbon steel pan now, all right? So I think that's important. Removing that layer, okay, enables me to really now start appreciating what this really is, okay? And this is not a bad pan. It's actually very similar to the Strata. It's a thinner pan, it has less heat retention, but it's more responsive. It's a shame they overcomplicated the cooking surface of this pan. I wish they could have had a simplistic approach and just offer a nitrided carbon steel pan without any magic treatments. So there you go. I'll keep using the Strata for a whole week. Now it's gonna become my family pan. So in the next video, I will share my view from a practical perspective of cooking with these pans. I see you in the next one.